Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and the topic is 3 ways birth order can influence who you are. In other words, does it make a difference if you're the oldest, the youngest, or the middle child? So I'm going to give you 3 ways birth order has been found to influence who we are through studies and science. So doing good is number 1. Can birth order influence how sensitive we are to the needs of others? One line of thinking goes that middleborns are more pro-social. By comparison to the eldest and the youngest, has been argued that from an evolutionary perspective that parents invest more in firstborns. Since they have survived for a longer duration of time, they are closer to the age of reproduction and maturity, and the lastborn, since parents are older and the youngest children have fewer younger rivals, this leaves middleborns who receive comparatively less from their parents. Apparently, they're more inclined to develop relationships with people outside the family and to be less focused on the family. Indeed, research has found that the middle child tend to score higher on personality traits like agreeableness and extroversion, now which facilitate close to non-kin relationships. For example, there was a study of civil disobedience in which college students boycotted a chain store to show support for employee rights. As astounding, 100% of those arrested then one time were lateborns and willing to incur risk so that others would benefit. The second one would be health. Is birth order related to health? Research suggests that it can play a significant and complicated role. Consider there was a study done in Norway which examined the influence of birth order on health and health-related behaviors. The investigators found that on average, lateborns have lower blood pressure, lower triglycerides, and body mass index than firstborns. At the same time, however, firstborns seem to have better self-reported physical and mental health. And they also tend to report being happier, which may partially explain why this group has been found to have lower suicide rates. Firstborns are also less likely to smoke, a finding which is keeping with previous research revealing patterns of poorer health behaviors, exhibition by lateborns. But this result may also help to explain the higher mortality rates that have been found among lateborns, which might account for these findings. Again, the research, shows that higher maternal investment in firstborns may play a role. Okay, so alternatively, there's also suggests that birth order effects may be biologically based. In particular, the in utero programming hypothesis proposes that maternal immune systems change with the number of births. So this could lead to health-related differences both in, uteral and once a child is actually born. So it's just something to keep in mind. What about income, though? Can birth order influence later income? Surprising studies have found that in a study that examined data from 11 countries for males born between 1935 and 1956, results revealed that firstborns make on average 13.7% more in their starting wages by comparisons to late-born individuals. But the study revealed a twist. The benefit is only temporary, fading 10 years after entering the job market. While firstborns tend to begin with better jobs in part due to their higher levels of education, late-born children were able to make up the gap by changing jobs earlier and more often to jobs with higher pay. So what might explain these results? The research argues that late-borns may be less averse to risk than firstborns and thus willing to take more chances in their professional careers. So that should give you some information on the birth order. In other words, science is still debatable on this topic, but there's certainly enough information out there to say we know it has some kind of influence and some kind of impact, but to what degree? Very debatable. Anyway, so I hope this information helps you think about if you've been one of those people that sits around and wonders the difference between you, your sisters, and your brothers, and when you were born, and does mom love the baby more or the elder, and things like that. And there's plenty of more research out there that you can look at, but it's a very debatable topic. Okay, so if this information was of value to you, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the link below, and I will talk to you soon.